I think that's just who I am as a person. I've never been the type of person to shy away from competition. I've never been the type of person who, lacked the work ethic to rise to the top.
What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome in to First and 10, presented by JCPenney. Nicole Hutchison alongside Donovan Ezeiruaku, second-round rookie for the Dallas Cowboys, but not playing like a rookie no more. He's certainly started to make a name for himself already with the Cowboys organization, and you made your first sack. You got your first sack of your career, man.
Finally got it.
Finally got it.
The first one, yeah.
How did it feel?
It felt really good. It took a couple weeks. I knew I was getting a lot of pressure the past couple weeks, but I didn't get that sack. And doing what I do, playing defensive end and edge rusher, that's really big for us. So it felt like I got a monkey off my back.
No play fake. He still got it, and he's going to be sacked. He tried to escape the first time. It's Ezeiruaku who gets his first NFL sack.
When you look back at the film, what stands out about that sack?
First, I wasn't supposed to be in a position that I was in anyway, which is interesting. And I don't know if a lot of people will understand that, but at the same time, it was one of those effort sacks. We sent pressure, and we kept moving, kept straining to go finish, and it kind of like fell into my lap. So
where does that play rank amongst all your sacks of your career? Dating back to college,
I would say 1, because it was my first NFL sack. I dreamed of, I always wanted to play in the National Football League, and for me to, go and get that one, I for sure saved my jersey after the game.
I want to get to your story. Obviously, like I said, making a name for yourself on the football field, but what's a part of your story that not many people know about?
I would say this life, I guess, or the National Football League, or, before I even knew what football was or was interested, I had, my grandfather on my mother's side who passed away a couple years ago. His anniversary's coming up, actually. He said, "Go be that great football player." Which was interesting because, nobody had it in mind that I was going to play in the National Football League or even play football at all. But for my first birthday, that's what he told me, or that's what he said to the camera. And then, years later, we found it on, one of those big old
VCRs or something?
Yeah, it was one of those. And I think that was just, he kind of ordained it in my life. So I think this was really meant for me. So
I love that, because you knew since you were 7 years old that you wanted to play this sport. What gave you the confidence at that young age that you knew you were going to be a baller in the NFL?
I don't know. I was an aggressive kid, first and foremost. I played basketball. My basketball coach told me, he said, "Nah, he needs to play football." But then I'm just an ultimate competitor. Even at that young age, I hated to lose, and I really enjoyed the physicality of football and the camaraderie with your teammates or whatever the case may be. So I kind of knew, and then that I wanted to play football, but then it's like, oh yeah, there's a professional, you can make some good money playing professional football. And it's like, okay, yeah, no brainer.
It took some convincing too for your parents. Growing up in a Nigerian household, you told your parents, I want to play football, but I'm gonna keep my grades up. I'm gonna go play D1 football as well. Just talk about those conversations that you remember with your parents.
So it was really one of those things where it was my parents, really my mom, that was like, you're not going to play football if you don't keep your grades right. You're not going to go to practice if, your chores aren't done or whatever the case may be. And that kind of just instilled that discipline. And it showed how, showed my drive, that characteristic that I had that, when I want something, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to go and do that. So that's kind of how that went.
Yeah.
And then, as I got older, as I started to see that I take it very, very serious, especially when you're like 10 years old and you got to cut weight to get to, and I'm running around with a trash bag on my body just to cut some weight for some football, Pee-wee Midget League football.
Yeah.
They saw how serious I was about it, when we got to high school, and it was, my grades were always right anyway, but, I made sure I had everything I needed just so that when the college coach came in, it was no question, okay, he's eligible, he's good in that area, you don't have to worry about him in that sense. Now, what does his tape look like?
Yeah, and the hard work that you instilled at such a young age kind of translated to the NFL level already. Just kind of talk about that. You came into a room of established guys, right? Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealon, all those guys. How did you embrace that challenge of coming in and carving out a role for you?
I think that's just who I am as a person. I've never been the type of person to shy away from competition. I've never been the type of person who, lacked the work ethic to rise to the top. So that's something that was instilled within me at a young age. So even, getting to the NFL and, being in a room like with guys of that caliber, it was never, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to be who I am, be myself, I'm going to work hard, put my head down and work. We're going to, chop it up, we're going to talk and get to know me, and we get to know you as well. At the same time, I'm here to work and here to, compete, here to make plays. If I have to take your spot, then that's what I have to do. Or we could do this thing together. You could be on the other side, I'm be on this side. We could do it like that. But that's just how my mentality, my mindset has always been. So.
Yeah, talk about. Did you expect to be getting so many opportunities so soon, this early in the season?
I did. At the same time, I understand how that's not so common. At this, typically younger guys, they don't. You make rookie mistakes, and I've definitely made my fair share of rookie mistakes. At the same time, I think I really try to win over the trust and respect of my coaches and my teammates. And if that's bringing a bag of food on the plane, before we take off for an away game, that's something that I have to do. Or, jumping in there playing scout team when, we're out of guys or a practice squad, whatever the case may be. Or, coach asked me a question. And you might think that the rookie doesn't know the answer, but I take my notes and I'm going to answer the question correctly. So I think those are the things that have given me the opportunity to get so many opportunities on the field.
Yeah, you talk about bringing a bag of food on the plane, but there's another bag that I want to talk about, your pass rush bag.
Okay.
Just a little bit, because you mentioned that, I remember a while back that you mentioned, like, at this level, obviously you can't just win with power. You've got to kind of expand that arsenal a little bit. What's been that process like for you through the first 8 weeks of the season and kind of expanding that? It's been
kind of up and down, and it's been experimental at the same time. This is not college football, obviously. This is the National Football League. People are grown men with families and, need this game to support what they have to support. So, everyone's better. So, yes, I have a bag of pass rush moves, but it's like, okay, knowing when to throw it, knowing when to go power, knowing when you could go inside, knowing when to take your shot off the edge. Did you set it up in the beginning of the game to, so that in the third or fourth quarter, when you really need it on third and long or whatever the case may be, you can, throw that fastball in there to go and make the play. So I think I would say I still have a bag. It's just knowing when and which situations to use it. Was there someone that kind of took you under their wing to kind of help you with that? Yeah, I would say when I got out here, obviously, my teammate who, he's at Green Bay now, Mike, he was a big part in that, and I think it's interesting because he's not even here, but we still talk, of course. We play the game and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, I love that for you. But we still talk, but at the same time, the older vets in the room. I got a guy, Dante Fowler, who's been here. He's been doing it, was a first rounder. And, we'll talk, and he sits, kind of right behind me. So he'll be like, Don, you see how he did? Same thing with Jadeveon. He understands and studies the small details of D-line player, offensive lineman to get certain tips and tricks. Like, these guys, they know what they've been doing it for so many years. Even Kenny Clark, he's a defensive tackle, but, we just talked about some, last week about our technique in a run game. They know something, and they're always trying to shed their knowledge, and that's why I'm so grateful to be in a room full of really great vets. So you've got Jadeveon Clowney, you've got Kenny Clark, Dante Fowler, Michael Parsons. I don't know, that's a nice little group. I got some nice friends. Nice friends, right? Talk about Michael Parsons. That's pretty much one of the best to learn from. What's been the biggest or best piece of advice that he's given you? Well, I would say recently, I wouldn't say this is the biggest or best, but this one sticks out to me. He was just like, Don, you have instincts when you play the run game. Use those same instincts for the pass game. And that sounds really simple, but that's sometimes you got to jump inside to go, stop the run, or you got to jump outside real quick. Use the same instincts in the pass game, and I think it's very simple, but it was like a I don't know, just went off in my head, and I was like, it's simple, but What happened on that sack, too? You trusted your instinct? I hope so, yeah, I think so. I want to ask you something. If the version of you that walked into training camp met the version of who you are now, what do you think that combo would sound like? That's a tough question. But I would say you're on the right track. don't get impatient. You know, just continue to work, continue to do the things that you are doing, take care of your body because this season is long. I think that's what the conversation would be like.
What would you define as a successful season for you individually?
I want to win ball games, personally. So, you know, doing what I have to do to go win ball games, it's not really about numbers or stats or whatever the case may be. I want to do whatever I need to do to help this team and this defense go win football games.
All right, we're going to have some fun now. Are you ready? I'm going to spitfire some rapid fire questions.
Depends on the question.
All right,
Okay,
let's do this. All right. If you could sack a quarterback from any era, what would it be? Who would it be?
Tom Brady.
Okay, that was quick.
That's quick.
All right. What's one thing college teammates would say that you changed about yourself?
Since getting to this level, I probably don't answer the phone as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that just a preference? You just
No, we're in here 12, 13 hours out of the day,
That's
so
fair.
yeah.
That's fair. All right. Favorite pass rusher to study that's not in Dallas?
Von Miller.
All right. If you could my handwriting. If you could steal a trait or skill from a teammate, who and what would it be?
I would steal Solomon Thomas's explosiveness. Because for being a big dude, he is freaky explosive. Yeah.
Okay. Last one. If you let one teammate DJ the locker room, who are you trusting and who are you not trusting?
Who am I trusting? There's a lot of good guys. I'm gonna say Mozzie, because Mozzie got some fire, and he's gonna play his music too.
Okay.
And his music is good music too. But who am I not trusting?
Not trusting.
James Houston.
That's insane. Why are you not trusting James?
It just, I don't know. I don't like his song selection.
It's suspect.
Yeah, it's
So suspect.
It's a little.
All right, well, before we go, I do want to make sure, because on Twitter, everybody's so confused about the celebration.
Okay.
I want you to tell everybody where the celebration came from.
Okay, so the celebration is exclusive to the members and brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And I think the people that know, they know, but we are Q-Dogs, so we throw up our hooks.
Hello.
And like I said, exclusive. It is exclusive, so it is not for everybody. But
Nice to point that out.
yeah,
Nice
got
point
to.
that.
It is not for everybody.
Hey, only the divine eye know about
You know.
that. But Donovan Ezeiruaku, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
No problem.